Hi, beautiful. Hope you all are having a lovely evening or day, and you guys have been enjoying this new season that we're stepping into. I really have a lot of stuff that's been kind of being channeled to me, and I've just been seeing through signs, and I wanted to come on to remind you guys how perfect you already are and how much this really is important when you're wanting to manifest, knowing the perfection and how amazing you truly are. Because often as humans, we like to see things in black or white or good or bad, or on a spectrum of a scale of being, we like to categorize everything. And you can definitely even see that right now with everything with the genders and the different types of like sexual orientation. We always put so much emphasis on like what something is. And I really think that's like our ego, but also us wanting to like fit into something. And as humans, all of us desire to be accepted, and we crave love and basically human connection and approval and acceptance from others. But we can't really get that acceptance and that approval if we aren't first accepting and approving ourselves as where we are in this current moment. And a big thing that blocks us when we're manifesting is doubting whether we're worthy or whether we're good enough to receive our dreams. And this is something that I think everyone can struggle with at some point in their life, because it's easy for us to be making excuses as to why something hasn't come or why something hasn't shown up. And even with the idea of karma, I'm not saying karma isn't real, but I believe that we create our own karma by the way we think with our minds. If we're condemning ourselves and we mess up and we lie to a friend, or we hurt someone, or we cheat on someone, or we do something that's not nice and not out of love, we feel guilt and shame as a result of this. And all this piles in our head, and we want to condemn, and we start to think that we're a bad human, or that we're going to have bad karma, or that God is going to punish us, or that, the universe will reincarnate into something not good, or we'll go to hell. There's a million things that we tell ourselves. But all these types of thoughts, they actually really block us from our true potential. They take up a lot of mind space. And I'm not saying to go do things that aren't out of love and feel wrong in your heart and that make you feel guilt and shame, and then just say, oh, I'm perfect, I'm a good person, I can feel however I want. Like, that's kind of sociopath behavior, and that's not a good thing. But really, when we have something that we do bad, or that feels not good and is not out of love and was a mistake, and we have those feelings of guilt and shame and resentment, or things that we're angry at ourselves, holding on to that and not forgiving ourselves really is going to perpetuate creating more things to show up to prove that we're not worthy. And it's really important to look at what happened. If you feel those emotions and you feel bad and not good about something, you obviously make it right with the person so that it's cleared from your energy, and do apologize, or come forth and fess up and let it clear your conscience. But then also let it go from yourself. Know that you are not that person anymore, and that you are stepping into a new, better person that is going to be more in alignment with the higher self that you are, and of love, and of these higher vibration feelings and emotions. Because when you allow yourself to step into these higher vibration feelings and emotions, and let the fear and the judgment and resentment and all these negative things go, you allow yourself to truly show up for people in such a better way, and you're going to start to manifest in a way that you're actually worthy, because you truly are. And all humans mess up. All humans have to learn and go through the ups and downs of failing or messing up. and have to go through learning that it's okay that you're not that same person and that this is part of life. And the more that you can learn to actually forgive those parts of you that really screwed up, the more you're going to show up in such a higher elevated space, because you're not hanging and clinging on to the guilt and the shame, and they're not eating away at you and making you feel like you aren't worthy. And by being not in guilt and shame and lower like fear, sadness, anger, not showing up in these states, you're actually going to be a beacon of light for other people, and you're going to really show other people that they too don't have to hang on to that. And like, if we truly love someone, we don't want them to feel bad. We don't want them to like feel pain. Sure, maybe when you're angry, if someone cheats on you in those moments, you're like, oh, I wish like he could feel this pain or she could feel this pain. And you know, you might have a bunch of anger and things that you're like wishing, but if you truly love that person, like, you know that you wouldn't want them to hold on to that. Like, I don't know, I personally don't. Maybe some people don't feel this way, but I really believe that I wish every person could live without guilt and shame. Not saying that you don't take accountability for your actions, but just for people to forgive themselves, because we'd be in such a better place with earth, because we would be showing up as our higher potential, knowing that we're perfect when we even have these flaws or these learning experiences. And the more that we can really accept that we are perfection, and perfection is with mess ups, they're one and the same, as, you know, everything's dualistic, and we can't really experience love without loss, and we can't really experience what it feels like to have joy if we weren't to have the opposite. Everything is coexisting in this balance of like a beautiful yin and yang. And I just really think that when it comes to manifesting, you have to see it for that. You have to see it for both sides of what everything is, of being the good and the bad, and it all being this learning experience. And then that way it frees you to choose the one that feels better, and to choose the growth from it, to choose harnessing that you are worthy, you are allowed to feel good, and you are so special. Nothing that you have done is reason for you to be so hard on yourself. Everything can be forgiven, and the Lord and the Bible, it teaches you this as well, that God's love is that forgiveness. And I think that's what they're trying to portray in the Bible, is that there is unconditional love. And I believe we can embody that with ourselves as well. And we don't have to live like we've, you know, I'm a waste, I've screwed up, or I've, you know, there's no point because I'm not a good person. And even with myself, I kind of always would put these little boundaries, or being like, oh, I had to do this before I could receive this amount of money, or, you know, like, I'm not good enough at this point, like, I'm not working hard enough. I would put on like these little, I guess like they were little blocks to my abundance and to my happiness, of thinking that I had to be somewhere other than how I was right now to be able to receive certain manifestations. So really like look into what your manifestations, like your biggest dreams and manifestations, and see what you're telling yourself you have to show up as, because right now you are perfect and freaking whole as you are. Like, you are already so worthy in this exact moment to receive all those things. The only thing that's stopping you is that belief and that thought that you've created around not being there already. And the same with healing. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but this is another thing I always hear, and it frustrates me. It's just even the fact that there's like healers, and I mean, I've studied Reiki and sound healing, and I believe so hard, like strongly, that sound and Reiki and energy healing has such a benefit, and it's super powerful. But at the end of the day, like, you telling someone they're broken and that you're a healer, it's like, to me, it's almost doing the opposite of what it should be. Like, we should be showing up as our healed self, knowing we're perfection. And I think that's how people raise up to also know their perfection. And I just really think that, like, if you're telling yourself that you're broken, or you're not where you're supposed to be, or that you're not a perfect manifestor now, even, these things are what's stopping you from having those things materialize in the 3D reality. All of us just really have to look and keep analyzing and keep checking in as to where our blocks are, what we're actually telling ourselves. Because every time that something isn't showing up, there's generally something. I mean, I'm talking, it takes months, and for some people maybe years, but if you're fully focused on receiving something and you feel like it hasn't shown up and it should have, really look and dive, seeing if there's any little spots of your thoughts or your subconscious that believe you're not worthy, or that you need to be doing something differently to receive that. And I hope this makes sense. I kind of went on a tangent, but I just really, it's been something I've wanted to share, because I think everyone is so perfect as you are. You are amazing, and you are so whole, and you are so worthy. And we're all human, and we all make mistakes. We all mess up. There's not a different level of mess up. Everything in the grand scheme of it is equal. We're going to go through, some people might go through 1,000 mess ups, and you might go through just one really big mess up. Who's to weigh what's worse and better? It's human nature. We are humans, and we're going to feel like we screwed up. But just know, with the screw ups, you can become stronger with that, and you can rise above it, and you can actually become that healer and that beacon of light to help other people, like other people through what you've just gone through, you know? And especially if you learn how to forgive yourself, you're going to be so strong at forgiving other people, and life is just going to go so much easier, because you're going to understand the love and perfection that we all are. And 12:22 on the clock right now. I'm gonna leave it at that. I love you guys. Leave a thumbs up if you like this, or subscribe, and hope you have a lovely day. Bye guys.